What's going on, R-Space fam? Time for another out-of-this-world episode from R-Space. Our first story. My beloved wife cheated on me and my daughter isn't mine. How can I move forward as well as shake angry feelings? My wife and I were married for 21 years. I figured it was one of those miracle marriages because we barely argued, seemed we were always the best of friends, etc. Well, our 15-year-old daughter received a 23andMe thing for her birthday from a friend. And of course, it said we weren't related. She had me do a swab as well as her mother and her 14-year-old brother. Only her brother and I seemed to be related. So I did a paternity test afterward, and lo and behold, she wasn't my freaking child. My ex-wife cried and pleaded for me to hear her out, but I just went numb to her. It would be one thing to cheat, but to find out the light of my life isn't even related to me killed me. Don't get me wrong, I love my daughter with all my heart. She's still my daughter, no matter what. But what's scaring me most is my seemingly vindictive desires. I've never been like this, and I know it's out of anger, but I want her to suffer so bad. The kids absolutely hate her, which on one end helps the desire, but I know that deep down, she is still their mother, and I don't really want them to hate her. Her parents and siblings all are mortified at her. Her sister hasn't spoken to her in a couple months. We all grew up together, so it hit hard for everyone. Again, this makes me feel great, which in turn scares me, because I don't actually want her life to go into shambles. But I can't help feel euphoric when I learn something in her life is falling apart. Both children are living with me, as I don't view their mother in a favorable light at all right now. I'm thinking about having the talk about them going to talk to her, because as of right now, they refuse. The part that breaks my heart the most is that my daughter seems to be overcompensating her roles of a daughter. She makes sure to tell me how much she loves me and is, in essence, being the perfect daughter. But I can tell it's because she knows that she isn't biologically mine. But she desperately wants to know how much she values me. I'm actually going to talk to her tonight about that, to tell her that she doesn't have to act differently. I just really want to know how to shake the sadness and angry, vindictive feelings. I want to move forward, as well as help my children move forward so they can worry about school and being teens. Please, any advice will help. Jack Crow starts us off. This situation is way above Reddit's pay grade. You and the children need therapy, ASAP. Having said that, let me offer a few pointers from my own experience. Kids don't care about biology. Your daughter will always see you as your father. I love my two stepdaughters as much as my two biological daughters. Full stop. But she might be worried about you leaving, as I'm sure she's picking up on the anger you have towards her mother. She might be wishing she could never see her mother again, and then making the jump to assuming you were having similar thoughts, and now could act on them as she isn't your daughter. You absolutely need to reassure her that you are in that dad-daughter relationship with her for the long haul. You need to channel that anger to something productive, or at least not needlessly destructive. Needful destruction could be finally demolishing that old garden wall that's been sitting there for 10 years. Assuming you are in the States, my understanding is that 14 is the age at which most courts will start to take the child's opinion under consideration. You should be consulting with your lawyer, you have one, right? About how you should be handling the children with regards to seeing their mother. In my opinion, you should be assuring the children that if they want to see their mother, that you will understand and not hold it against them, as you shouldn't. Stay strong and channel that anger into something productive. Get therapy. Talk to other infidelity survivors. Don't drink to excess. Start working out if you don't already. Do stuff with the kids. One day at a time. That's how the hurt and anger go away. You just have to distract yourself until enough time has passed. Good luck. Next up, Big Red Meat Stick. I don't see why OP or his kids need therapy at all. Their anger is justified, and with the state of therapy today, they might end up getting a therapist who's all about making their anger seem unreasonable or trying to gaslight them into seeing the situation from the cheater's point of view. If OP actively fantasizes about doing something extreme, that's when it'd turn from righteous anger into something else. But being angry at her and enjoying the fact that she'd screwed up her life through her own stupid behavior and choices is entirely justifiable here. Let's see what Frogleg74 says. It's not just about the anger, though. Think of what his poor daughter must be feeling after finding this out. Teenagers are notoriously good at internalizing things and hiding the real depths of their pain. She needs to talk to someone. They all do. Just to help them get through this. And here comes Big Red Meat Stick again. That's true, But if his children are predominantly angry at their mother for what she did, stifling that anger would be unhealthy in my opinion. All of these no anger, bad, see a therapist responses are the main thing I'm arguing against here. I know it must be hard to feel hatred against someone who you loved before you found out what they did, and possibly still love on some level in regards to what OP feels. But that anger is natural. It shouldn't be suppressed or mitigated in my opinion. Bon me B-word thinks, this kind of betrayal and family upheaval can be very traumatizing for a child. And the adults involved too. Of course their anger is justified, and the purpose of therapy is to provide support for the person to navigate these very complex feelings so that they don't have to lead to maladaptive coping mechanisms, behaviors, or worldviews later on in life, such as fear of abandonment, distrust, anxiety, etc. If it's financially feasible for OP, it could be tremendously helpful for his children and himself. Big Red Meat Stick had to chime in one last time. Yeah, but these aren't little kids that don't understand why mommy left or have no real grasp of the situation. They understand possibly all too well, and that's why they're angry. I think referring someone to a therapy right away makes it look like the problem is with them and not the other party, so that's why I don't think it's the best idea here. I'm going to rescue myself due to my own personal biases when it comes to the effectiveness of therapy at this point. Okay, moving on to the next story. My wife has been sexting another man. So I'm a combination of fuming and terrified. We've been together for 13 years. We have 3 children, 11, son's birthday's today, 8 and 3. My wife had been depressed for a year since her first child being born. She came out of it just before Christmas after I'd persuaded her to get help. She suddenly sparked up, got her type 1 diabetes under control after speaking to the doctors. Tonight, she left her phone in the bed whilst she took my phone, on which her sister was video calling to wish my son a happy birthday. She had been really cagey about me being near her phone, which isn't normal. We used to be all over each other's phones, interchanging who was doing what. So she was texting an old uni friend, that means university friend. They began to flirt and it got sexual. I feel like I can't trust her. I'm so disappointed and I don't know what to do. Edit. I spoke to her as soon as I found out. She was angry. I had been on her phone. I suggested that was a poor attempt at deflection and said we'd talk when the kids were in bed. I don't want them seeing the potential instability of their parents' relationship. They already assume we're getting divorced if we argue over driving styles. We spoke, and she wanted to explain why. I said I couldn't trust her and didn't know what she could say that would help. Update time. So I slept on it, and we discussed it as I drove to work this morning. I ended up losing my cool and then just breaking down and pulling over to bowl like a little girl. I just can't believe that she did it. I called in and explained to my boss why I needed a day. I went to see my best friend to talk it out, which really helped me clarify what I was feeling. It turns out, she had a suicide plan in November and was planning on ending it. I saw she was in a very bad way and asked her to get help. She did, but clearly needed validation of her self-worth from somewhere else. I want to believe we can fix it. I know that's naive, but I have to try, for all the sunk emotional and financial cost. I am aware it might not work out. She needs a lot of help and support, and we've been limping along together for a good decade of making do, but not making right. I have said she needs to go to counseling as a non-negotiable. I am prepared to walk away if I need to. Alright, next update. About 4 weeks ago, I found out she was still in contact with him, not sexting. I told her she needed to speak to her sister about it all because she didn't seem to think that this was an issue. My sister-in-law has been amazing. Let me know that she feels as though my wife is bipolar, that she knows it doesn't excuse her behavior, and that she'd support me whatever I did. She came down and helped her speak to the local mental health team. My wife is engaging with counseling, and doctors have prescribed medication, which seems to have taken the edge off her suicidal thoughts. Our relationship has seemed to improve. However, yesterday morning, when I looked at her phone, there were texts from a number not in her contacts, which were responses to an ongoing conversation. All previous texts have been deleted, so it was pretty stretchy. Looked again today, and they've all been deleted. I have the number written down, kinda scared to call it, but I'm pretty certain who it will be. I haven't raised it with her. If she's doing this after clear conversations about the consequences, what would be the point? Alright, Reddit. Help this person out. Change 2001, you take it from here. I'm sorry that you found yourself in this situation. She may try to turn the blame on you by blaming you for not being there for her or needing attention. That is BS and just attempting to deflect blame for their actions. First, realize that you did nothing to deserve this. Your significant other made the choice to cheat on you and put your feelings and relationships secondary to their desires. If your significant other has been cheating on your marriage, it is best to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Speak with a divorce lawyer to find out your rights and options. First, understand it was not a mistake. It was a series of choices they made to cheat. The choice to not shut down any flirting. The choice to not stop inappropriate physical contact, such as hugs, touches, kisses, etc. The choice to contemplate an affair. The choice to disregard the harm it would do to their current relationship and family. The choice to have an affair. The choice to meet for the affair. The choice to remove clothes. The choice to have sex. And the daily choice to lie about everything, from the very beginning to the very end, until you finally found out. Plus the trickle-shoot lies and lies by omission. Demand that all contact be immediately cut with the affair partner. No more contact in any form whatsoever will be tolerated. Demand access to all electronic devices at all times to check for inappropriate contact and messages. When you get pushback about it violating their privacy, remind them that they destroy the trust, and if they want to save the marriage, this is a requirement. Inform them that it is going to take a long time to restore your trust, and that if you think they're continuing to hide things, then it will be harder for trust to be reestablished. Demand a post-nuptial agreement. If you do not have a prenup, and include an infidelity clause where she basically forfeits everything if she cheats again. In some places, you can sue the affair partner for alienation of affection. If you win, it awards you money for the affair partner for stealing your spouse's affection from you. Ask your lawyer if this is possible where you live. If children are involved, demand a paternity test. Expect your wife to push back on this. Probably she will claim you don't trust her. Remind her that she cheated and lied to you about the affair. Don't give in on this. Get the paternity test. Hopefully the children are yours. However, if it turns out you are not the father, then this will provide support for claims of infidelity during your marriage if it goes to divorce. Immediately separate your finances into an account that only you have access. Cancel all joint credit cards. Remove your significant other from your life, health, and car insurance. Lock your credit to prevent anything from being opened in your name. Also, secure all important papers, driver's licenses, passports, birth certificates, etc. Get an STD check. Keep all correspondence with your significant other to prove what is said. Only meet in public to ensure witnesses for behavior in case they try to make false claims. If one-party recording is legal where you live, use a voice-activated recorder to have proof of what is said also. Set up security cameras with audio around the house and inside. Consider nanny cams as a more inexpensive option. These come in various hidden options, such as picture frames, clocks, wall hooks, charging adapters, etc. Make sure the data is secured online where only you can access it. Check the cell phone records for a list of calls and texts with the affair partner. If you have cloud online storage, check for pictures and documents about the affair. Print out everything so you have proof in case it is deleted later. Make a few copies and keep one in a secure location that your significant other does not have access. Again, so only you have access. Let all the friends and family know exactly why you threw your significant other out of the house. Let everyone know you caught them having an affair. Get ahead of them trying to turn the blame on you. Do not let them try to blame you for this situation. Do not try to protect their reputation. It was destroyed when they had the affair. There is some good and bad info out there. Find the good information to help you. Read chumplady.com for good insight. Best wishes. Remember, you deserve better.